Breath framework. B, begin where you are. R, reclaim your power. E, excavate your core values. A, allow, not control. T, through, not around. And H, healing. The breath framework, a way of life.
So yes, I'm ignoring the show because I was responding to a text. Hi world. This is my last Thursday on Annie's channel, and I am so happy. I cannot be more excited. I'm still in a hotel. I got my first COVID shot yesterday, and I'm in the midst of reclaiming my power in many, 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 many ways. So, this should be an entertaining topic, as today we are on R, and the infamous, amazing Felicia Miller Johnson has joined me tonight so graciously at last minute. Aloha.
Aloha.
You're making me want to go to Hawaii.
Hey, you should go.
It's 98 degrees here, so Hawaii sounds great.
It's a beautiful place, but you can have it right where you are.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is on the wall. Oh, it's this wall. Oh, it's one of the paintings. Everything's backwards, so like when I'm looking, it's yeah. Okay.
But I noticed the light that's illuminated over your head.
Yes. I obviously didn't plan that intentionally based on where I'm currently feeling today because I feel really pale. I've been red, like fully red today. I'm pretty sure I had a fever most of the day, and my 4-year-old still does not let me sleep. So obviously healing time is at a minimum. But reclaiming my power over this government that wants to take away every single freedom we have if we don't get our shots, I figure I might as well just cave and get the shot anyway. What's the difference?
Got you. Well, I do send you healing vibes that you will process all of that quickly and that you will be healed and whole.
Awesome. Will it heal everything or just a COVID shot? I'm just curious. Anyway.
What else you want to heal?
Yeah. There's a list. So anyway, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm getting to chat with you. It's just a flashback of, do you remember our first show together?
Oh God, it feels like so long ago. And it really wasn't. It was like February or something, but it feels, oh God, I feel like a completely different person. I'm free in many ways. Not fully free, but free in many.
Yes, we were in the same state together, Arkansas.
Yeah.
But it was also a conversation where we shared when we were talking about how I had reclaimed my power in the sense of just being comfortable in the spiritual gifts and just sharing that with others and just living that truth on a day-to-day life and what that looks like level. So
living our truth is something, isn't it? Like, saying things and living behind it and actually doing the actions behind words is amazing. It's very self-fulfilling and it's empowering. It makes life very simple. It takes away all the complications of life because God knows life has a lot of complications. And boy, do we make it so much more complicated than it has to be on a minute by minute basis. But it's interesting. I mean, it's funny, like this whole reclaiming power thing. I feel like it's probably the most misconstrued letter out of all the letters in the framework. Allow is pretty simple, right? Because we're controlling son of a bitches and we just want to control everything. Healing is pretty straightforward. Through, not around, is pretty straightforward. Begin is right there. We're good. Excavate core values. Okay, I can see where that's a little, because we have core values imposed upon us, and we're not always sure what our personal core values are, right? Until we really start digging into it and really get to the core of who we are. But I feel like reclaim our power is very, very confusing from looking from the outside in, because it's not about holding power over anyone else. It's about taking back what we freely give to others, right? Because
Yeah.
no, unless you're in prison or you're in some type of out of your control experience, like 18 months in Arkansas, not by free will, then you are not you don't have your power taken from you. You
Right.
freely hand it over to others. And that was for me. I mean, my whole life I've given it to others, right? Like I never realized how much power I gave people, and I never reclaimed it for myself until these last 6 to 9 months. And then even last weekend, I reclaimed my power in an enormous way. And sometimes it's really painful. So sometimes it's extremely painful to do. What's a recent story of you reclaiming your power?
Well, first, let me say I observed this, which I never really had thought about before when I thought about the framework, is that when you're talking about like this one being like a challenging step, this is kind of the only step in the framework where it usually very highly probability involves other people. So like you have to begin, that's you thinking your own stuff, right? Excavating your core values is what you believe. And it's again, something you allowing.
Mm-hmm.
But then this, go back to reclaiming your power usually means taking it back from like someone else. Yeah. Through, not allowed. And then the H is like the healing of yourself. It's like this is the main one that probably you're having to deal with someone else
Mm-hmm.
um, to do that. So I had never really like made it that kind of clear that that's why it might be challenging because all the other things are probably just you could kind of do that in your bubble and no one really know. The odds are if you're reclaiming your power, you're more likely to be interacting with someone. So
And what's ironic about that is it changes every interaction with those people. It
right.
is a complete dynamic shift. Nobody knows how to handle that dynamic shift. So there's this awkward period, and then the trick is not to slip back into giving it back away because it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I keep giving it back
Mm,
because my fear of rejection, my fear of not being enough, my fear of not being accepted for who I am, my insecurities, my self doubts when it comes to that type of stuff. Not just it's my whole life I was told that I was not enough. My love is not enough. Who I was not enough, and it was so reinforced, like by every human being I came across. And to at 42 years old go through this process and still feel this way half of the time right now means I'm still giving away too much of my power because it's the one thing that really is messing with me. So if we're giving somebody that much of an opinion over our own, then that's us handing over our power.
yeah. It makes me wonder though, also, it's not like a complete everyone just you're just giving all of your complete power in every area of your life because there's
Right.
parts of you that you're like, absolutely not, this is not going to happen. But then there can be this particular trigger area
Hmm.
where it might be the love or the relation, especially something that's probably heavily connected to your excavating your core values, something that you really value.
Hmm.
Like there's this misalignment, disconnect, that you're then giving away that to someone else. And then that's where there's, dis-ease and all of that. So yeah, I think part for me, because you asked me what was probably a recent thing of reclaiming my power, was growing up, just had the expectations that I was always smart and I always had to have that, the answers, right? And there was a time that, like my son and his grades that he was making is not what the expectation was of success, of what I thought
Hmm.
that should be and what that should look like. And that was just bringing this dis-ease, right? This misalignment of what that is to look
Hmm.
like. So like, like over the summer, I had to realize that, I am not my son's report card. That doesn't make me any less of a qualified, mother, or that doesn't make me any less like smart, right? But rather I took that power back of, hey, like all is well. Like what he makes in his grade, that doesn't take anything away from me. And now I have to transmute that to how can I support him and help him find the resources and the things that will help him to succeed as best well, that can. But at the end of last school year, you know, I was, what do I do with this? It was very decent power. But that's because I was tying that to the expectation that he had to make all A's. If he didn't make all A's, he's not smart. If he's not going to be smart, he's not going to be able to succeed. Because success is one of our core values,
Right.
right? So there was that misalignment. So I had to be successful, like I said, successful entrepreneur, successful mother, a successful wife, just all those different areas, right? So when I was misaligned, it's like, what am I gonna do?
That's a lot of allowing too. That's a lot of allowing. Oh God, that's a lot.
Yeah, it really, I didn't really, and like I said, I'm out of school a long time, but just even seeing a grade on the paper, it would just like my, heart palpitations and like, okay, you see, like this is, your transcript and this is permanent and like what's going on with all of this, right? And so I'm like, it was like, like it was tattooed on my chest, like. So then that meant if you were not a success, that means I'm not a success. And oh my gosh, I cannot have people thinking about that. And it was like, rewind. But I had to go through that. I had to allow it. I had to, go through like, what is this really about?
And what's funny is it's not even your report card,
No.
right? Like, hey, Bill, where are you in the world today, Bill? It's like, where's Waldo? Where are you, Bill?
Hello, Annie.
Hey, Annie. Yeah, I mean, reclaiming power is entertaining. It's interesting. It's so it's a it's a it's a very touchy one because you really never realize where you're giving it away, right? And until you realize how much of yourself you're compromising against your core values, right? Like you said with the grades, you really don't think about, where you're at and what you're doing with
Mm-mm.
it.
So it becomes
So
uncomfortable.
it is. It
Usually
is
what
beyond
triggers
uncomfortable.
it will trigger something of what is it that I want, because it's something that you value, and when you're feeling as though that you're not getting that and that missing that, that's where the dis-ease comes in, and then you're like, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Now are you going to let this actually go through, allow it and go through it and do your work like the breath framework has, or are you just going to, go around that, do the whole escapisms and all those different things? um
I wish I could do the escapisms, but as a single father of three in a hotel room, escapisms don't really exist today. Um, Bill, you have my prayers, and I'm sorry about your mother.
mm,
I apologize, Bill.
yes.
Um, wow. I, I'm
Hmm.
sorry, Bill. I feel that one. Hey, Liz. Um,
Aloha, Liz.
how's it going, bud? Well, I'm in Philly now, Bill. Well, just about. I'm outside of Philly. So when you go see your daughter, we'll have to grab coffee or something.
Yeah.
Liz is sending your mom prayers too, Bill. Yeah, I mean, escapisms, those are funny, right? They creep up to you, right? Like, do you go around, do you go through, do you work through it? Do you run and hide? It's tough because sometimes you don't even realize you're slipping back into it, right? Like
Mm-mm.
most times when you're straying away from your core values, you don't even realize it until you have a physical reaction to it. At least that's how it works for me. I
Mm.
get a physical either nausea. Um, I have the hair on my right arm now stick up. My intuition, I guess, is getting a little bit different now these days. So the hair on my right arm will stick straight up. Only my right arm. It's pretty interesting. Um, it, it's
Mm.
been it's been very interesting, and like when I give away my power too much, I start walking away from my truth, and they coincide so tightly. You know, reclaiming our power and retaining our power and standing in our truth and being our truest version of ourselves, it is also aligned with all the different letters in this framework. And the healing comes from doing the work and doing the self forgiveness letters and all these things to release ourselves from the bondage that we've held ourselves under, right? Because it's all about what we hold ourselves under. There's many things in my life I've done to other people that I'll never receive forgiveness for.
Mm.
And the reality is I probably shouldn't. But the reality is, can I forgive myself so that I don't make those mistakes again? So that I can live in a whole, centered, grounded way and live into my best self every day.
Hmm. So, what is it about that statement that stood out? What is it about that statement you would say that they, should not forgive you?
I mean, there's things that I've done that are just not forgivable. There's just things I've done that are not forgivable. I was an addict and an alcoholic for years and dealing drugs for years. I did things that were unforgivable. I'm not going to go through a
Yeah.
fictitious rap sheet. I'm not going to go through a
No,
fictitious rap
no,
sheet
no.
tonight. But there are instances that I'll never, receive. I'll never be forgiven by people that I've wronged. And truth of the matter is, I've made my amends, right, from when I did the steps, you know, but it's not on me whether they forgive me or not. It's I can only own and be accountable to myself, right?
Mm.
And if somebody means enough to me, I can attempt to be accountable to them, and I'm willing to make that compromise as long as it's an equal energy dynamic,
Yeah.
equal effort. It doesn't have to be equivalent, but it has to be equal in effort. And that's what I'm learning is something that is necessary for me.
So, would you say that that's a way of reclaiming your power in the sense of, like I said, for the things that you realize that you've done during those times, that you realize that that's not behavior that you would do again, um, and yet you're not necessarily tied to them saying or you hearing, "Hey, Mike, I forgive you for
Hmm.
having done this to me," but yet you're not allowing yourself to soak in the fact that I haven't heard it. They won't forgive me. I have to prove that I've changed and do all these different things in order to just simply hear, I forgive you. So in a way, that's like reclaiming your power, right? Of I realize I allowed that to happen. I did that. I was part of that, but yet I know I've done the work to change myself and my behaviors and doing that. But it's also, I would hope to say that it's not saying that I guess that was the part that was triggering, that they shouldn't forgive you. I would hope that they can forgive in the sense of that happened. It's not something I want to do there, but that doesn't then say that they have to be cool with you and kick it and y'all have to be best of buddies and best friends. But yet they can reclaim their power and like not harboring on to the resentment or the painful feelings that occurred to that. So it's like you're both can reclaim your power without there's having to be like this whole big loved up face, we connected, we're all cool and all of that.
You want to know how you do that?
Hmm.
You forgive yourself,
Yeah.
and that person has to forgive themselves for allowing those circumstances to happen. And that's where those forgiveness letters come in, because it's true accountability and
Yeah.
it's true ownership of my role in whatever I've done. And there's many things that I'm not proud of when I was younger. Many things that when I was active in addiction and active in living a way that I wanted to live, or living a way that I thought was easier,
Yeah.
um, I wasn't proud of. I hurt a lot of people, and it was never my intent, because it's not who I am at my core. It's not who I am at my soul. But I was so gone at that point, I had no idea who that even was,
Yeah.
right? And the trick is to own it to ourselves. Not We can't hide from ourselves. Like this this reclaiming our power. 99% of it is over ourselves. Like we give our power to past circumstances. We give our power to past errors and mistakes, and we give our power to past versions of ourselves.
Hmm.
And it's easy to escape into any type of void filling activity. It's easy not to stand up and live into ourselves. It's easy to hand our power over to whatever the easiest out is. But at the end of the day, what good is that going to do? I mean, you know, like I talk about my porn addiction all the time. Like I don't hide it, right? Like I was addicted to porn for years because it was emotionally disconnecting for me,
Mm.
you know. And I'm not saying I don't look at it now, but it's not 24/7, and it's not to hide from life, right? Like so there's moderation in life, in every aspect of life. And it could be gambling, it could be any of those things. For me, I choose not to drink or do a drug ever again, because I don't want to go down that path and take a chance. Does
Mm.
it mean that I wouldn't come back? I have no idea. But why would I take that chance?
Mm.
You know?
Mm.
And I still have it. I still have it with food, right? Like I still if I'm having a bad day, like I felt like shit today, I made it worse because I ate like shit.
Mm.
I made it worse because literally Sid had me up every 2 hours last night.
Mm.
It was torture. And I've been so exhausted and drained all day, haven't felt well, had a lot going on today, and just I ate like shit on top of it and made it worse. So food is a comfort thing for me, right? Like it's I think people underestimate how simple our escapes are,
Mm.
and I think we don't give them validation or the credit that they deserve for the control that they have over us.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it's like you said, if you've been doing something for so long, right,
Hmm.
that you may not even recognize that. But then that one, food, is an irony because it's one of those that technically you need it,
Hmm.
right? So he's like, okay, I'm thinking in my head, like, I got to eat, I have to do these different things. But it's kind of like also about what is the intention of the food that comes with that. And so it's like, yeah, yeah. Hmm. And then the whole thing about comforting. I mean, when they say comfort foods, right? I mean,
Uh,
that's you can talk about something like, oh, I had these fondest memories. Let's just say, my mom, like my mom, she shared a story like her, like this is old school, like her mom would cook, what is it? Blackberry. I think it was like a blackberry cobbler,
hmm
right? And it was a manifestation of just even seeing when she was talking about that. There was this restaurant that they have it. And she says, I mean, it was a small little container. And I remember she talking about having that. And I brought that to her. And just to see her eat it and the joy that she had. And that's when she shared the story. She's like, my mom used to make one from scratch, like every Sunday before church. And so like there was this whole memory and connection to that. Right. So it's these things that, yeah, it's food, but what is also connected with that memory, for that. But then there's also, it can numb you the heck out too. Like if this doesn't help me feel good, I know I can temporarily eat this food and I have that satisfaction for however long it's digesting in my body. I'll deal with the fact that it's not going to feel good and what I'm going to think about myself 2 hours from now. But in this moment right here, right now, it's satisfying. It feels good. It numbs the
Yeah,
spirit.
that's me with carbs. And what's great is I'm gluten on top of it. So it's like, I love the pain. I just bring the pain on, and I call it the carb bloat because my stomach does not digest it properly, and it's just such a painful experience. And I just put myself through it. It's I truly believe that it's going to make me feel better at that moment, and it's simple, right? Like how hard is it to eat pretzels or eat chips or
Yeah.
I'm sitting in front of a computer most of the day, or a day like today, I tried to lay down when Sid wasn't bouncing on me like a trampoline. Um, it's easy, right? It's easy to eat things that are just convenient, and I don't necessarily have the willpower in that way right this moment. I just don't. I can go sit in a bar for 10 hours, watch football all day long, never have a drink, never consider one, never want one.
Hmm.
But I damn well promise you, I'd be ordering friggin' fried mozzarella sticks. I'd be ordering friggin', like all this shit food that would be crushing me. Like, and that's just not where my willpower is. So, I look at it and I say, I guess I'm okay with it for now, right? But at some point, I've got to shift that too. And
Yeah.
and that's really a place that I want to work on and want to be different, And somehow I've got to get fruit on recurring delivery daily, so that if my kids eat it all the night before, I could have it again in the morning.
Well, what's the beauty in that? That means your kids are eating the fruit, right?
Yes, yes, with no portion control, as it's been pointed out to me many times. So
Oh.
I was right for a moment, and then it felt really wrong again. Um, so yeah, so that's my life, and I definitely feel like shit tonight, but that's okay. I feel paler than normal, but it could be the light over my head that's making it worse. Um,
Well, Mike, you're
yes.
worthy. You are worthy. You're so much more than a temporary satisfaction of a mozzarella stick,
Am I?
pretzels.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when you dip it in marinara, there's like a little extra there, so it makes it, it gives you that little, you know. I
You're
get it in concept. I get it in concept, not in practical use.
you're absolutely worthy. You're processing all of these things well. And, just even right now, Sid is absolutely able to be calm and relaxing because she hasn't jumped on you and yelled or did anything in this, what, 30 minutes that we have had the show. So I'm sending aloha spirit vibes that tonight that you would get some rest. And even if it's 3 hours in between versus two.
That would be nice. That'd be very welcomed right now. That would be. It's also the bed rotation because the room that I got was supposed to be a one-bedroom suite, which did not end up working out that way. So it's a studio suite, which means it's a
Everybody's
king.
open.
So it's a king size bed with a couch, and Sid won't sleep in the king size bed with the siblings, so She wants the couch, which leaves me on the floor. So each night, I either start out on the couch or the floor, and every 2 hours rotate because that's what Sid likes to do.
Mm.
So it's been very, very entertaining.
Well, here's to that you will get to sleep on the couch or the bed, maybe 3 hours, and that you're going to be able to relax and let that immune shot go through your body, and you'll feel better in the morning, and you'll have fruit in the morning.
That sounds good, actually. I still have some blueberries left, so that's good. They haven't found them all yet. The first 4 pounds are gone, but they haven't found the rest yet. It's
Well,
been an interesting 5 days, 6 days. Wait, today's what? Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Holy crap! It's been a week that I've been here. Oh my God, I've been here a week. Shoot me.
Why did they shoot you?
It's been tedious. I've been here a week now.
Right.
Yes.
Vocabulary. You know better than this. Why don't you shoot you? Your celebration that you have been out and on your own and wanting to go where you wanted to go for a whole week.
And I am extraordinarily grateful for that. I just want sleep. Like, I'm just at a point where I need rest. I wasn't sleeping great in Arkansas for many other reasons, but at least there was enough beds that I had a bed to sleep in. My God.
Just think, soon you're going to have your own house, your own place.
Well,
you want it.
It's getting closer.
In your
Almost
own.
there.
Indeed it is.
It is. We'll see. Things are changing soon, fast. Pretty amazing. I'm very grateful. I just feel like crap today, so I'm not making it easier on myself or you. But you can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're used to smart ass Mike. We're good. We're good.
Yes. But I want you to go take this time to get some rest.
I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna fall asleep watching that new Lincoln series.
School
Tries to spell the word.
Thank you.
I know. Tries to. What if I lay on top of her? Can she survive the night like that? Oh no! What did she get into? Sid, what are you putting all over you? You're like, she just shrugged her shoulders. You want to know why she was so quiet? That's why she's so quiet. Hang on. Let me see what this is. Hang on. It's shampoo. Do you want to go wash the shampoo off? Okay, you got to go in the shower. We found out why she's so quiet. She literally was lathering shampoo on her legs like it was lotion.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this back on.
Okay, Sid. Bye, world. I have to go bathe her for the second time today. Have a good night. Oh, wait. Let me do the intro, whatever it's called.
Breath framework. B. Begin where you are. R. Reclaim your power. E. Excavate your core values. A. Allow, not control. T. Through, not around. And H. Healing. The breath framework. A way of life.